They say when you wear Black Power Media gear, you can accomplish anything. You can play any and every position. Coaching, to kicking, to receiving, to running and juking. And, oh my goodness, I see that again in slow motion. Get off me. And you're going to have a lot of haters coming at you, but what you got to do is you got to shake them off, and get to your goal and accomplish it. And when that's done, it's a beautiful thing. I'm talking about going hard, extra, for that extra point. And when it's done beautifully, you talking about touchdown. Oh, and the crowd goes wild and they're celebrating with you and everything. Man, let's see that again. Nice.
Black Power Media, baby. That's how we do it.
Now go to blackpowermedia.org and get you some of that gear. Empower yourself today. Yeah.
Yeah. What's up, world? Welcome to Earn Your Liberation with your boy, Jared Ball, Geechee Yaw, and the superstar. That's why he's the main man in the middle. He can show up late. Diallo. What's up, Geechee? What's going on, man?
What's up, man? I'm about to ask Siri an important question.
What's the question?
Siri, how you start your own economy?
Here's
what I found.
Economy, yeah. That's what Boosie told me to start my own economy. So, and the first thing is increase your thinking, and then also don't waste time on Fridays. So.
Oh, is that what it says? Siri says, increase your thinking and don't waste time on Friday. All right, right on.
Hey, look, so that means if y'all wasting time, I'm gonna join the EarnYourLeisure gang. So this your audition.
Welcome, Carpani Burns. Thank you for your support. Welcome. Good morning, Anthony. What's up, Quaker Anarchist? 40J Blaze. So there he is.
Who that? The king?
The king. The Devo. Never on time, never with his tech ready. But when you the superstar, that's the privilege.
I need some new headphones now.
So everybody, go ahead and support the channel. We don't hear you. As usual. Support the channel so that we could get Diallo and Geechee some working tech.
Yeah, and we can start our own economy.
You got to drop the link to that so we can show the people what we're talking about. But we want Diallo to be able to hear when we say
it's wrong, bro.
So we need to make sure he got his working tech. You know what I mean? So that when we hear from our
coach's top thought leader,
we'll be able to get everything working.
I can hear.
So go ahead, everybody, join Carpani if you're not already a member, and support the channel, or drop some so that we can get Diallo and everybody they're properly working tech. And
y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. Do you hear us? Okay. All right.
I'm ready.
One day, this will all happen before 8 o'clock Eastern. That's all. One day. So, all right. Do we need to? All right. So, oh my God. All right. So this is as good a place to end to start. By the way, just real quick, we got a number of things we're going to get into this morning, including I know I would like to go through at least my Instagram page and share some of the responses we got to people's reaction to our name. And maybe we could talk a little bit how we arrived at the name. I think I can't stop laughing every time I look at the little graphic. And we're gonna work on it. You know what I mean? We're gonna work on we open to all the aesthetic adjustments.
We living up to the name 3 times Petty right now, by the way.
But as I said in the chat, if I can't get my new number 1 had become 3 mics high and rising, but Geechee's too young and didn't get the reference. So he's too young and based in Southern hip hop to get the reference.
The 3 Left Mafia is all I remember.
The 3 Left Mafia. There's a number of good ones, and who knows? who knows? You know, it is African tradition to adopt names as people grow and evolve. So who knows? We might, you know. But I love the Earn Your Liberation joint, and I don't know where exactly it came from. Diallo, you're the first in the chat, I think, remember, I don't know if you got it from somebody or if that is a self-generated.
Yeah, I just,
you know,
it came off the dome.
It's perfect. It's just so perfect.
I was inspired by an online guru.
Yeah, I mean,
I was inspired by
the coach's top thought leader.
Yes.
You know. So, hey, look, with all due respect, speaking for myself, this is, you know, I enjoy poking some fun and certainly disagreeing politically and whatever, but it's just love. It's just some from my point of view. I'm not speaking obviously. I know you know. I know you
love these hoes.
I think I'm in between, because I'm thinking how people, they love comedians who talk shit about other people, but I guess whenever you come with analysis and you make fun of people, you know, people feel some type of way when they let Dave Chappelle call our ancestors dying broke and shit like that. So he
said penniless.
Penniless.
Somebody got at me for that, because I said I accused him of saying Malcolm X and Dr. King died broke, and they were like, he didn't say broke, he said penniless. So that's not it. You're right. No.
Are they really suggesting that penniless is somehow different from broke?
Hey,
it was a misquote. If we want, but
okay, we do want to be accurate. Right on, right on. I have to admit, I'm never proud of admitting that Diallo would have any positive influence on me, but I will admit, reviewing, I stand where I stand on Chappelle and some other things, but I found that to be disturbing. Like, my gut was impacted by that. And then his whole thing with Elon Musk and all that other stuff. Like, I'm not rocking with any of that. I can't support any of that. So anyway,
and the fact that these brothers were murdered, and in their 30s, they were relatively young men who were murdered, and just as to say as though they were just lived irresponsibly and didn't invest properly, they didn't earn their leisure, and then died. Just that whole framing of the demise or how we lost Dr. King and Malcolm X, it's really disgusting. But
and right on. No, right on. And I don't know if we're going to play or get to this clip later, but I did look at 1 minute and 57 seconds of one of the Earn Your Leisure's recent offerings on the MiddleClassMindSet.
Oh, I saw it.
And it's a similar vibe of the flaw in our elders, the flaw in our previous movements is just their ignorance around money and mindsets and this, that, and the third. And so I was like, if we're gonna watch it, I can't. Again, as we talked about before, I can't be by myself. Yeah, I'm not sitting through that nonsense, boy. That's just anyway. So, but let me pull this up here, because Geechee, boy, oh boy, some of the stuff you find, boy. I tell you, boy, I like. First of all, who is this dude?
I have no idea. The white boy,
the host.
Do you feel like one of the biggest things that plague?
I don't know who he is.
Not having the finances.
So he's sitting here with Boosie with his Simpsons character's background. Talking.
Is that Charlemagne at the bottom? I never even noticed with the hat.
Is that who it's supposed to be down there?
I have no idea who that is on there. Look like it.
But so Theo Vaughn clips. 480,000 subscribers, and this video has how many video? I don't see the spins on it, but all right. So anyway, I don't know who this dude is, but you talking about is this Charlemagne down here? Is that who that's supposed to be?
I don't know. It looked like it.
So who is this? Is this Tim Pool? All right, hold on.
I don't know, man.
Right, hold on. Let me get the question.
Black community is just not having.
Hold on.
Do you feel like one of the biggest things that plagues the Black community is just not having the finances?
I don't know, man. I think we need to build our own economy. That's why I think we can. We got to move right now with the rise and shit. We can build our own economy. We need to get the billionaires together.
Yeah, y'all should own more of your shit.
We should build our own economy, make our own music.
Yeah.
We should build out to our own banks.
Yep.
You know, same thing what they did with Black Wall Street back in the days in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
I know that they what happened? They burned it down.
Yeah, they burned it down, took everything. You know, those black people, all those black people were worth millions of dollars. That will be billions today.
Right.
So again, I'm
our
sorry.
own economy. I'm gonna start saying economy.
That's it.
That's my new word.
The very first thing I want to say is the first thought I had watching that is all due respect. Stop disrespecting weed smokers. So let's first of all, let's start there.
They be deep though. Weed smokers be deep. Most
this
deeper
idea,
than
I just don't like the representation of that. First off, no, but seriously, the again, please, everybody, if you're new to the channel, whatever, please go check out Black Myths Podcast, our collective work with Two Black on the issue of the circulating black dollar, the history of Black Wall Street, all of this, those histories and myths, just from the limited work of Two Black Myths and myself on this platform, those myths should no longer exist. So the dollars don't circulate. Tulsa, no, 5% most were millionaires or doing well in Tulsa, Black people. Everybody else were working, poor people, et cetera, and so forth. It was destroyed, rebuilt to be bigger and better for the Black capitalist community, at least, and was destroyed in the 40s through public policy, not through white vigilante violence. So again, it's a complete misunderstanding of the history, the economics, all of that already in this clip. And again, it's a disrespect to the weed smoking community. So any other, I'll keep it going here.
So,
all right.
Well, you know what is also pretty curious though. boosiebadazz, if you follow his ideology and commentary, he actually would have fit very well in the in having his own economy during the Black Wall Street era, because he's an extreme classist. You know, he advises rappers once they get half a dime to their name to leave the community. And he said the Black masses are jealous of rappers, and that's why we keep killing rappers, is because we hate to see them shine. And he says that, you know, he's one of the few rappers that don't talk that give back to the community. He doesn't talk that rhetoric about going back to the community. He says that, you know, we get shot because we disobey the police. He actually has a very strong rape Bill Cosby, before Cosby got exposed as a predator. That whole Black conservative, Black elitist point of view, Boosie embodies that and articulates that at every opportunity.
Damn.
So I don't think this video made too many rounds. In 2 years, it's only like 11,000 views.
This is 2 years old even? I didn't even realize that. Okay, my bad.
Yeah. So Boosie is very much in the vein of Black Wall Street and building our own economy. When he says build our own economy, he's not talking about the Black masses. He's literally just talking about the Black billionaires getting together and doing their thing, while not bringing the rest of us along. Yeah. So he's more historically accurate than you're giving him credit for, Dr. Ball.
Yeah, I was going to say, it sounds like it. He might be actually onto something there. All right, so shall we continue?
I think he dropped the economic words.
We probably
you
start our own economy, man. Economy, our own foods, our own Amazon, and everybody get together and make our own economy.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Even if we gotta get fronted from somebody else,
yeah,
but we can start. We can start our own economy, our own state, you know, and see how much they miss us, and we can put a real hole in their pocket. Yeah, because we run the fashion, we run all this shit. You know, the Black people run the fashion.
A lot of
we
stuff.
We bro. Even white people want to look like us.
Okay, I agree.
You know,
that,
real
man.
shit.
Especially if they're 14 or 15
Come
years
on,
old.
14, 15 years old, you know.
All you wanted to be Ice Cube. I remember writing Ice Cube on my cheek before I go to school, bro. That's how much I wanted to be.
Who is this dude though? Who is this Theo Vaughn dude?
I've never heard of him.
Me not know.
But he famous because of the economy.
But I'm glad he checked Boosie. He's like, no, children want to look like you. Children want to, our children like to cosplay in blackface, but you know, we grow out of that shit eventually. We eventually go on to inherit our parents' shit that they stole from the rest of the world, and we begin to, you know, wear our Brooks Brothers suits. I'm so glad he checked him in the most gentle way. Stop fronting like, you know, these Wall Street white boys and give a damn about what you wearing, Boosie.
So there's a updated video with Vlad joking with Boosie about, you know, using the word wrong, and Boosie claimed that he was high, and that's why. So he is blaming the weed smoking for his.
See, that's messed up. So first of all, we can't play Vlad clips because Vlad, they reach out quickly. I mean,
Vlad has never stole or appropriated anybody's stuff.
No, of course not.
You ain't got no right to be appropriating his stuff. Everything he does is original and from his culture. Right. And it comes from his culture.
That's
so
right.
You have no right.
That's right.
Oh boy.
That's right, Diallo. Thank you for checking me on that.
Irony is dead.
It is.
Hey, you sound like Boosie defending Vlad, because he actually thanked Boosie for defending him against some other black people who didn't like him. So
well, Vlad pulled himself up by his bootstrap. Him and his people got their own economy. We just need to stop trying to steal from them and get our own economy.
Oh, you're right.
All right, so I'm just assume that we good on that, and unless there was some more gems in there, that's just a shame.
I mean, we took the rational kernel, which is build our own economy, so we good.
No, the most insightful thing is these rappers get a little when they start talking about the whole world watching us, the whole world want to be like us, the world. Like, who told them that? Who put that battery in their back? And I just like that.
No, the white.
Like, yeah. You know, my wayward son wants to, you know, dress up like you. He went from He-Man to Boosie Badass, and after that, he'll come back to the real world. Just like all them hippies from the 60s became conservatives in the 80s and voted for Reagan. They know they like to.
Listen, when we get to the Dr. Dre part, like Jimmy, who is it? JimmyIovine. He's saying the same thing. The one who's with Beats. He's saying the same thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, but he's saying the same thing that Boosie's saying, that, you know, that's why he's invested in Dre, because black culture is where it's at. We influence everybody.
Y'all know what's funny about that? Everybody forgets. Remember when Dre first left NWA and he mocked Eazy-E for having a Jewish guy in his corner? Remember, what was his name? Jerry? What?
Jerry
Hell. Yeah. And he was like, I'm gonna go get a bigger, better Jew than you. It's so wild.
That's really what he meant. And Iovine, by the way, also, I remember I used to quote him all the time, reference this all the time. When he in the early 2000s, it was the Young Buck album that was coming out. And Iovine specifically told him that they would not support the release of that album if he did not adjust down all of the anti-police references in the. So I remember the point was that I kept saying, you can talk about, you know, killing black people, selling dope to brown kids, black kids, killing black kids, just that and the third. But as soon as you say F the police, and the track itself specifically, it was not some revolutionary F the police. It was specifically the verse was saying something to the effect, F the police, I'm going to continue to sell drugs regardless of what you try to do. So it wasn't even like but even that got Iovine to say we're not supporting the album. So I used to always bring that up to point out that there's always a clear politics behind even those who are in charge of the gatekeeping elements of the culture that does produce so much wealth for them. Right. You know, so anyway, I'm not, anyway, it's consistent.
I mean, so we might as well, I guess, go there, because the white lady who, what's her name?
I don't know. Oh, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Yeah.
There's a lot of white ladies out there.
Yeah, I was gonna say which.
But no,
send me the link again, please.
Diallo, if you got that link,
I got the link.
Yeah. Or somebody send me the link again, please.
But the white lady, her response was like, I would never play you talking about beating on women and hating the cops. But ironically, Iovine, in a clip with him and Dre, he started praising Trump, and Dre was like, you know what, I don't really get into all that. I just want to produce art. I'm just art,
Yeah, he said.
But what I'm saying is, like, he's saying that this white lady is too, trash, and she's right politic. I mean, Iovine is the same way, literally.
He said he doesn't want hateful people to use his music.
Right.
But listen.
Right. Dr. Dre, MTG gets locked out of Twitter account. Hateful, divisive people can't use my music.
But he working with a hateful white boy who a little bit kinda.
What hateful white boy? Eminem?
Iovine.
Oh,
probably Eminem too. Iovine literally was praising Trump on the damn.
Y'all be looking behind the curtain. I only pay attention to what's on stage.
And I like, what is she trying to? What is this kind of trolling? She said, while I appreciate the creative chord progression, I would never play your words of violence against women and police officers and your glorification of the thug life and drugs.
She's not articulate enough to come with that kind of clapback. One of her staffers.
Definitely.
She's not articulate or intelligent enough, because that was a decent clapback. That's a earn your liberation quality jab. That's like something one of us would have came back with. Ain't no way.
I mean,
Marjorie Taylor.
It is unfortunate that she
lasers. This woman is not that. That was a decent clapback.
But I mean, it is unfortunate that she could point out to that obvious contradiction. Never mind the police part, but the the anti-black content that you promote and produce while you're talking about. But this is just my general problem with liberals anyway. It's so easy to be critical of the Marjories in them and the Foxes in them. It's easy to do that while you get points for your very liberal agenda, and to your point, Geach, you end up supporting ultimately very conservative right-wing agenda. By the way, that reminds me of something in the Sam Bank-Run fraud thing that I wanted to. Actually, I'm glad you remember that Sam Bankman-Fried said that he overtly gave most of his money to Democrats because that's just what is more acceptable for his generation, for his hot in the street. But on the low, using dark money very legally, he supported equally the amount equally of the Republicans. So
you saw. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
No, you saw in this most recent voting cycle for the midterm, all the economics came out, and they found that all the progressive corporations
economy. You said
in the economy, the most progressive corporations said they weren't going to give to Republicans because of abortion in solidarity with women, and because of the attack on trans and other gender non-conforming people, that they went ahead and gave and continued to sneak. So even the multinational corporations were sneaking and giving money to right wingers, and they also said they would no longer give money to any of the supporters that's politicians that supported the January 6th rebellion, the Dookie rebellion of January 6th. And they found out all the corporations lied, and they broke off all the insurrectionists, pro-abortion, and the homophobic politicians still got donations from these progressive corporations. So it's all a WWE. It's so hard to say. It's WWF type villain, Hulk Hogan versus Iron Sheik type shit going on with these political donations.
Right on. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
Iovine them are saying that black culture is the most underutilized asset in America, and him and Dre is going to teach black kids how to hustle and work. So he's doing a good service for us. So I think y'all should honor him for that.
So this is the new Marvel universe or DC universe where the new formations, right? So you got Jay-Z and Jack Dorsey, you got Dre and Iovine, you got everybody's teaming up with their super white partner.
Eazy-E and Jerry Heller are still banging from heaven. They on the ancestral plane. So just like when Wakanda, so it's even
right
it's
when
even
they
more
take
Marvel.
They take the plane and go into the dream world.
And then it's Jerry Heller and yep. So even on dimensional level, it is a Marvel universe of Black economy.
Man.
But did Dre ever do some restorative healing work after him assaulting all the women, including Black women? Like, did he have a track record of other than saying
sister?
Sorry?
And I had the pleasure of what's the sister D Barnes. I had the pleasure of mutually following each other on Twitter and supporting her more recent return to remind people of what had never been resolved or had been falsely reported as falsely resolved. So, and I remembered at the time it was specifically right after that documentary about Russell Simmons came out.
Mm-hmm.
And where one of my favorite songs is actually Forever Ruined. I'm forgetting the sister's name, but she was in the documentary. She's the one that was behind the scenes and had created what at one point would have been my wedding song. Method Man and Mary J. Blige's remake.
Oh yeah.
Like that was my, like, for real. And then to come to find out that she made that song under duress, had it stolen up from under her while she, the credit taken away from her, the production involvement taken away from her. The sister that brought, I'm forgetting her name, but she's the one that had the idea of recreating the classic Tammy Terrell, Marvin Gaye song, putting Mary J. with Method. She like Don King did the whole thing. And then Russell Simmons, because she wouldn't sleep with him, something to that effect. I might not be getting the specifics right, but she was removed from being able to participate and get credit for that song. So when I saw that documentary, I was like, damn it. Now every time I hear the song, I remember this, and it's like, it's unfortunate, and yeah, there was a Russell Simmons documentary, and it was on one of these platforms. It came out a year or so ago, and it's the reason why I think he's left the country. Like he's not in the United States because
he'll be back. Statute of limitations are slowly counting down, so he'll be back.
There it is.
I know y'all miss him.
I did see a clip of Eazy-E that they did an interview after Dr. Dre assaulted D, and he was like, she got what she deserved, and we'll do it again because she tried to play us on national TV or something like that.
But it was Ice Cube. But that's the thing. Why didn't he go put hands on Ice Cube? Oh, because that's what they claim. Ice Cube was on D Barnes' show, and he said, "I keep punks or keep something suckers 100 miles of running." So he made a mockery of their 100 miles of running song, and so he attacked her because Ice Cube said something disparaging NWA. But I ain't seen nobody give Ice Cube. Why didn't he give Ice Cube them skippity paps? Like, no, man. To this day, now they playing patty cake again. They cool again. That's some weird shit. Them dudes is weird.
I think I'm having some connection issues. My bad. I think I'm having some connection issues, so I'm about to address that real quick. But this is the documentary.
Too many names in rapid concession.
Right. And Drew Dixon is the sister I was talking about. You see her up here. But that's the documentary. On the Record came out in 2020. It's very powerful and disturbing. But anyway, yeah, and ruined, what should be. And she was also Drew Dixon. I think she's the one that also had initially discovered, or whatever you say about that, John Legend. And was removed, and because she wouldn't sleep with oh man, I can't, one of them dudes that everybody knows the name. he took her off of John Legend. So she's never been able to benefit financially or credit wise for John Legend's early work, which she should have been able to. So it's costing people their careers financially, of course, everything else emotionally and physically. And I mean, it's just horrible. And to think that and I do think, and I know it's crazy and I know it's, selfish, whatever, but just to come to realize that so much, whether it's Africa Bambaataa and all that's come out about him, so much in my childhood, you know what I mean? It's like, and so much of that history is just ruined. Never mind the lives of the people who actually suffered. It's just anyway, yeah.
So I worked in radio in Greensboro, and and Fantasia and Rico and their brother and all them, they from High Point. So I knew her before she made it to the space, but when she came back, the first interview she came back off the record, she told us about. So I know y'all remember when I think Jamie Foxx tried to kiss her on national TV or something like that.
No,
Jamie Foxx. I think it was like a Fantasia. There was like a show.
Oh, right.
I think,
okay.
But
yeah,
she said that wasn't even close to the type of ways that almost everybody in the industry come at you. They say that it's almost worse than being a college freshman on campus, because like everybody, the way in which they come at you is like straight vultures.
Weirdos.
Yeah.
Look, I know, Rosa Clemente used to tell me stories about, her experience, even just involved with radical hip hop artists, being on tour with them. We saw the what was it, a year ago when what's the sister's name? Jaguar Wright went on and was, talking about like even what Common was doing to her on the bus, and I mean it's just all this disturbing, disgusting, and yeah, I mean anyway, so it's just a complete and total mess. By the way, speaking of John Legend, at 12 o'clock today, come on back if you can. Dr. Todd Stephen Burrows is going to join me for a special edition of I Mix What I Like to look at the new documentary Loudmouth about Al Sharpton, which is produced.
He's frozen.
Oh, there go the connection.
And going back to what Boosie said about our own. He's still trying to get through.
I'm real quick. Quick.
Type it in the chat.
You see?
Hey,
what I was going to say,
go ahead.
How Boosie said we need our own economy, but we see when black people get in prominent positions, capitalist hierarchical positions, they start acting just like the white dudes.
Yeah.
They start behaving exactly like. So what is our own economy if it's going to be a replica of their economy? What's the point?
Yeah, that's one of the things about when people talk about representation, which I'm obviously trying to argue against, but I've never seen somebody in a space that become the first black and they get to throw their blackness around. And in fact, normally times they have to prove that they're not one of them, because all they hear is like, oh, you're not like the rest of them, and they always answer the questions for your race too. So.
Yeah, and when I was in school, they had a push for black administrators and black professors. And at one of the schools, colleges I went to, and when they started, the blacker the administration became, the blacker the faculty became, the more anti-revolution, anti-radical the overall institution became. They became less tolerant and more repressive of the student activism and the rebellious tendencies, left-leaning tendencies of the students. So, just painting shit black, or this black candy coating on white systems and institutions like our economy, it doesn't work. It never works. Or even when Africa was decolonized and we had all these Jomo Kenyattas, Mobutu Sese Seko, and Mugabe's, who literally kicked the white boys out the chair and sat down in the same chairs and started to operate the same draconian type system or Nelly Mandela. Even Nelly Mandela just took over a neoliberal economy and kept the ball rolling, except he gave up the nuke. Other than that, it wasn't much different than the economic system under the white dudes.
One of the things before we go to a next topic, so I watched a whole interview with JimmyIovine and
you naming names. Your shit about to go dead too.
I don't know his name. I'll be pronouncing it wrong, but him and DrDre, and he made an analogy that said that him and DrDre are two vultures that are sitting on a light post, and he said, but instead of waiting for something to die, we trying to go kill something. And so DrDre was like, yeah, he said that's what we did with the beats. So they went.
Now, I said, you know, how is Dre running to calling out copyright and calling out trademark? How's that not snitching? How's that? If you gangster and if somebody step to you, you're supposed to handle your shit in the street and you're not supposed to run to the feds. Even if you're a rapper, even if you're a celebrity, even if your gangsterism is just a public persona, because it's 6ix9ine and who that other dude that's right just got a Gunner. So even if you accuse, if you give the slightest hint of snitching, I thought that was it. Your career is over. So is that it? Y'all not gonna listen to Detox when it comes out because Dre snitched to the feds and got MarjorieTaylorGreene deplatformed? Is that not so? Now I'm sneaking that in because so it's MarjorieTaylorGreene's more gangster than Dr. Dre.
I mean, she had a gangster clapback, but I don't know if she's more gangster than the.
Did she snitch to the Fed? Who ran to the feds? When the feds came and asked her about January 6th, and then white people running up in the Capitol smearing feces on the wall, did MarjorieTaylorGreene snitch? Oh, he's back. I don't want to talk about this in front of Dr. Ball.
No, I heard. I could hear you while I was getting my internet fixed.
Listen, she ain't snitched, but she did say if I would have planned it, if me and who would have Bannon, she said we would have planned it, we would have.
Right, she doubled down, but you know when I post that in the
she OJ'd it.
By the way, Geechee, isn't that the same?
You really want to say that, man? You really want to go there? So I'm not going to go there. I didn't know he could hear us.
So, but Geechee, it's similar to what you sent in that clip about Tyreek, or Tariq Nasheed. I'm sorry, Tariq Nasheed, where the person who made the video was accusing him of snitching, of again repping the streets and claiming gangster this and thug that and banging on the system this and that. But as soon as something pimping, well, he's done all of it. He's been everything. He's been the
pimps get to snitch. Pimps don't have a no snitch code. Gangsters can't snitch. I mean, when y'all gonna come out to the streets with me? Because I'm sick of telling y'all about the rules. A pimp can snitch.
Yeah,
a gangster
I don't know the rules.
I don't know. I don't know. That's Chicago pimps. Because I don't know no pimps in New York or in the South. I don't know none of them that be snitching. So that's maybe.
Really?
That's maybe
okay. Y'all got it better.
Yeah, that's some Chicago shit over there.
I don't know anything about any of that.
Well, who did Tariq tell on?
I don't know. I'm not really clear what was being said. I was just trying to catch up to. There was so many things in our group chat being thrown around. I was just trying to catch some of the stuff. So Geechee, I don't know if you want to explain any of that. If you're more clear on it, or if you want to even have us share it.
Tariq Nasheed video.
Yeah, you sent the clip. It was like somebody had made. Didn't you send the clip?
No.
How else would I have gotten it?
I don't know how you.
I don't know.
But yeah, hey, Dr. Dre's
maybe.
Snitch.
Anyway,
copyright. Copyright strike. That's snitching. That's federal snitching. That's snitching to the feds. Trademark infringement. How's that not snitching?
So the only thing I was thinking of when you were saying that is that, but you know, come on now, because we got to be fair to Dre. It's not just Dre's money he's protecting.
He didn't have to make a statement though. He made a statement.
His lawyer did.
On his behalf.
It's other people involved. JimmyIovine's people. I don't know the exact details of his relationship or how much of what he owns and doesn't own, but I feel like there's got to be some relationship somewhere where somebody's getting a cut, who are like, you better go out there and tell Marjorie to get up off of our product. No, I don't know.
Well, I don't know. Dre, let's make the topic. Somebody said they were speaking on behalf of Dre. And Dre said he doesn't license his music to politicians. and especially he doesn't license his music to divisive and hateful politicians. He licensed his music to multinational corporations because he's a man of principles and values, not politicians. You know, but the corporations that own the politicians, you can get some Tupac or Snoop Dogg in your commercials, so, and make it make sense. Very ethical and moral, but that's some snitching shit.
All right,
Wow.
we ain't talking about no more snitches over here. All right, let's go to the next. Dre Wack.
All right. Did you all have something you wanted to you ready for something? Pull up what else you want to get to, but I wanted to, while you do that, let me just at least share some of this, because you know we did go ahead and adopt the Earn Your Liberation name, and I thought some of the response on Instagram was pretty interesting. I don't know exactly what you all saw, but you know, TJ D3N or whatever said, you know, I was just thinking the same thing about Earn Your Freedom. T-Mo said it's dope. The Real Elbow said, nah, I don't like the name. So I just said, but you gonna watch though, you know, but please still watch.
Ross hating on us, man.
I mean, you know, it's okay. It's okay. Minister Server says, shout out to Minister Server. So that's the name of the new show, huh? It's all right. However, I'm still calling y'all the Three Left Crew. All right. You know what I mean? He said, your mama named you Clay. I'm gonna name you. I'm gonna call you Clay. That's what he said. I'm not.
That shit funny as hell.
Dead naming.
Right. Still Love 3 Times Dope. Yeah, that was a good name. That was it. Y'all killing me with the avatars. Yeah, that's some funny stuff. I think it's funny. Where's the one? The name is tough. I respect it, but the avatars, man, I can't get over. Yeah, I laugh all the time. Where was the one? Oh, maybe it was on somebody else's or somewhere else. Oh, I was looking at another. Maybe I gotta find the because someone was saying that it was talking about how I was repping for the light skins. So I was like, you know,
oh,
the high yellows.
I saw
the high yellows. That's what it was.
I think that comment was on Facebook.
Yeah. Oh, is that on Facebook? Okay, my bad. Okay, right on. All right, I can't keep up with where everything is. Isn't that caping for? Is that caping Earn? So it's a parody, clearly. It's or satire. Honestly, I can't remember the difference between parody and satire. It's one of those. And since I predict that they're going to produce so much of our content for us.
Yo.
That, you know, I don't know. So, you know, anyway. We did have a little process, by the way, a little in our group chat. And
they made it a hot line. We made it a hot song.
There you go. It's too long. Liberation is too many syllables. Oh, liberation, leisure. So it's one more syllable. So just do EYL.
Yeah.
There you go.
We got a propagandist in the field. Got a trained propagandist in the comments.
No, you're right. Capping. Are we capping for right? Okay, capping. Yeah, not caping. Right. Obviously, we're not caping. You know, we're not.
I thought they were saying they meant that we were trying to defend and support, because a lot of people do talk economic freedom and economic liberation. So I can see how people would twist that. You know, once you are economically independent, you are liberated because you got
yes, Obi, that's the point. I
think we're going over, I guess.
Yeah, it's all right. Aranya, welcome. Thank you for becoming a new member. Appreciate you. And welcome to the crew. And folks, go ahead and join her. Come on in. Dropped a new members only video the other day. We're gonna start a new series looking at the message to the Black movement from the Black Liberation Army document. And Daruba, its author, is likely to be on the platform with at least with me again, and Dr. Orasami Burton, maybe next week. So a lot more coming on that as well. Yeah, I know. If who said it? Yeah, I know. When you got to explain the joke, you know, but I still feel like that's more shame on you than us. All right, so Geechee, I got we got the solution though. We come with the solutions.
Because Diallo is being disobedient and he's not doing violence interrupt the work like we asked him to. So we have to go to other means.
Call T.O.
Nah, just forget about it. We already solved it. We solved
close to the holidays.
We solved it. We solved it.
Oh, that's right. They've been asking when you gonna be out there with T.O.
Don't even worry about it. We got it. The whole crew, everybody in the chats. But because Diallo's being lazy and he's scared to be in them streets, we just gonna find another way to resolve violence.
It's cold,
brother. Listen,
it's cold outside, baby. It's cold outside.
We don't need no excuses.
But in all honesty, I don't want you. I want you to stay safe, Diallo. So, but the real issue is we don't have to. T.O., everybody basically can stand down.
Stand down.
I do stay safe, but the number one killer of black men is cardiovascular disease and malignant cancer.
We got a solution for that too.
So
that's not true. That's not true, Diallos. Don't spread lies on this platform.
So
the number one reason black people die in this country is because they don't have insurance.
All right.
But guess what?
So
we got a solution for that too.
This is pretty.
We got a solution.
This is going to solve all that.
Where's the sound?
Murders and violence. Go out and get everybody insured. If every person in the hood on my shorty, if every person in the hood had life insurance, it would no longer be what's the mayor doing? Because now Wall Street is impacted, right? Money run this world. Let's be honest, right? Like we see how people could get canceled real quick, right? It's like money runs the world. And so the moment people start messing with money, it's like, wait a minute, because allegedly, I like how allegedly a lot of guns was dropped into our hoods, a lot of drugs was dropped into our hoods, allegedly, or we could call it a spade. That ain't allegedly. All right, cool. All right, so I'll just. But if you ask yourself now, what's the way to rectify that? Because if shorties and them ain't gonna put the guns down, they can't get. You had Trump saying, we're gonna send the what are you saying? We're gonna send the National Guard to Chicago to patrol. Listen, man, the way you get that done is when Wall Street say, wait a minute, we got to stop this. Because if every time you look up and you see 10 people was shot in Chicago, not nationally, we talking Chicago alone. If 10 people die in Chicago, that's $10 million of new wealth. If everybody had $1 million life insurance policy, which only costs an eighth a weed to get $35, $40. If everybody had $1 million life insurance policy and they die and their parents just inherited $500,000 to a $1 million life insurance policy, and this is happening every week. So now black households are getting more and more wealth, unfortunately, due to the demise. But what I'm saying is that if everybody had life insurance policies, the way we would solve violence in the hood, is insurance companies is gonna say, wait a minute, Northwestern Mutual gonna say, no, I done paid out too many people the quickest way to.
Is he suggesting, because
yes, he is.
Number one,
it's not a suggestion, Diallo.
There's so many holes in that. First of all, did he specify how the insurance companies would stop it? Because, insurance companies are going bankrupt in Florida because of the turbulent weather down there, and they just stopped paying policies. So people that have insurance companies are private for-profit corporations. So if they start to lose money, they can just file bankruptcy. Remember during the housing market collapse and the financial market collapse that followed that, they just didn't pay the debt. They just were like, we don't got it. That we don't got. What you gonna do? Sue us? So it wouldn't work in that way. Also, you can't just walk into an insurance company and get $1 million policy on someone, and it's someone who just really sat down with our insurance agent to talk about policies for my wife and children and them. And you can't just they have all these packages and rates, and you have to go through all this rigmarole in order to secure, and they really assess your worth as an individual and your earning potential. Poor black people can't just walk into an insurance company and get $1 million policy like that. It is not that simple or easy. Also, is he suggesting that the gangs and the other people who perpetuate violence against other people, black people in our community, can be controlled by the private insurance industry somehow? They have the solution to the violence, because if they lose money, they will stop guns coming in. How would they stop it? If, say, we're hemorrhaging $10 million, we create 10 every weekend in Chicago, we're creating 10 new multimillionaires. How would they go about stopping it? Oh,
now the part that is suggested, in at least in that clip, and obviously we're not seeing the entire conversation, where I'm sure they lay out all the genius and explanation that would respond substantively to what we're saying, but the suggestion is the insurance companies are connected to the very people who put the guns in the black community. So if they're having to pay out as a result of the violence because of the guns they're putting in the black community, they'll stop putting the guns in the black community and will stop paying out. And black owners of those policies who do receive payouts from their dead loved ones will have an economic come up. So now it's funny you sent that, because I was just sent the other day something about this here. Black insurance agencies with the claim that from We Buy Black, which is sort of like a collective hub of black business, black insurance agencies around the country are helping the community reclaim billions by protecting black-owned businesses, black families, and black dreams. We can transfer billions into our community simply by protecting our families with life insurance. We can make sure our businesses aren't destroyed by racism or another pandemic through business insurance, including commercial trucking insurance. Historically, black insurance companies were the largest and most profitable black-owned businesses in America. Their prosperity paved the way for black wealth. So I don't know if there's a connection here. I don't know if there is some sort of thing happening in the black capitalist ecosphere. But
another scam. Not that I'm saying don't get insurance.
Right.
I'm not telling black folks to get insurance, but it's not going to.
But you're not telling them that getting insurance is a solution to violence and the economic inequality and the racism and
listen. So if somebody kick in your door and take your PS5, it's good to have renters or homeowners insurance.
I was reading something.
The shit you lost.
I was reading something that said that the possible reasons why folks won't get paid is if the investigation revealed the nominee was involved in a crime. 2, if the death of the policy was due to involvement in criminal activity, the insurer will not settle the claim if the policyholder is murdered due to his involvement in the criminal activity. So if he's talking about all this gang violence or whatever, they already have clauses that's easy for them to not pay the people, because it's easy to be like, oh yeah, they was involved in, oh, they had weed in their system, oh, they had alcohol in their system.
Right.
So
and like I said, they don't even have to do that. Once the insurance companies become insolvent, and by insolvent doesn't mean that they have no cash, no capital, no assets. That just means they created another corporation, so they got off-seas account that they put all the money in. It's like, oh, we ain't got no more. They're telling that there's people in Florida right now that paid for flood insurance and other protections for their property. And once they had consecutive hurricanes and weather damage, they just drop them. They just drop them off. They can end your policy at any time. So once they make 2 payoffs, they'll just stop giving the policy. Insurance companies are not obligated to sell you policies. So even if this horrendous scheme was carried out, they would just be like, oh, we see what's happening here. No, we deny you, which they have every prerogative to do. They don't have to sell you their products. And that's what a policy is. It's a product. So it's just a very poorly thought out solutions. And if the insurance companies have, and even if the insurance companies had the power to stop the guns, the only thing that would do would increase the price and value of guns, because Mexico has a no gun policy. Up until about, I think 5-6 years ago, Chicago had strict no gun policies, and people would just go over to redneck Indiana, where they had very liberal gun policies, and get a truckload of guns and bring them into the hood. Guns, this country is awash with guns and saturated with guns. And I don't see how the insurance industry could, if in his fantasy world, if every black child had a $1 million, $10 million policy, how that in any way would play out into saving our lives. You know, it's just really, it's kind of like when Jay.
Honestly, this is again for me the crux of the parody of the name. Earn your liberation for me means you have to join and involve yourself in political organization and look to, on the one end, destroy what exists and build up something else that would be actually beneficial to the collective. And we could expand beyond that. But this whole thing of earning your leisure through this Black capitalist fantasy of we can invest here, we can buy this policy here, we can look to hustle the game, pimp the game by finding a trap door over here, all is meant to avoid the hard work and the danger and the fear that I get exists in actually confronting and winning. Anyway, so but yeah,
Jerry,
sorry, go ahead.
I wonder. I was trying to look for your you and what's his name, Ross Mack. You and Ross Mack's interview on Tammy Mack, but I can't find it. Y'all was on the business of being Black. I think you did a show about it. You had the link, but I just can't find it. And he was getting into it with you, and it was a politician from Georgia that was on the panel too. So I don't know if you remember Tammy Mack.
And who was the Ross character again? Because I vaguely remembered this.
He's like a financial. He's the financial literacy rapper, right? He's a rapper, financial literacy guy. I think he's from Philly or something like that. He went to Wharton School of Business for and he used to work for one of those financial firms, Morgan Stanley. But he was on the platform with you, and y'all kind of had a little argument, and there was supposed to be a politician from Georgia who was more socialist, but I just can't remember. I don't know if y'all was talking about buying power or whatever, but you even offered him to read the book, which I don't think he did, but I was looking for that, but I cannot find it. But I did send you the link to one of the research that they talk about, the life insurance racial wealth gap, and they're claiming that, again, this is a way for us to to solve the racial wealth gap by exploiting the deaths of our loved ones or people who are murdered in the streets. They say, oh, they're going to get murdered anyway, so I might as well put life insurance on them. But in that report, it was showing how 22% of Black respondents feel that their life insurance policy will build generational wealth compared to 8% of white people. So white people are not dependent on life insurance to build generational wealth. And so it's like it's talking about the motivations behind life insurance, that Black people buy life insurance just as much as white people. It's just that we're not getting enough. We just doing life insurance to cover the burial costs and stuff like that. So
it says that Black people are more likely to have life insurance, but have 1/3 of coverage. So that's
because it costs. Because the more coverage you have, the more it costs, and you got to pay. And one missed payment could completely collapse all the money and investment that you put for a year. Mm-hmm. So these insurance companies, and a lot of times your policy will lapse and they don't inform you. And so it's just like the mortgage. What's that? The Justice Department just got $30 million. What was it? $30 million in for redlining. Because the insurance companies are going to be honest and straightforward, and those phone book stack of documents you have to sign for your policies. There won't be any gotchas in there. So like I said, insurance is a useful tool, but it's not a liberation, and from a philosophical point of view, Del Jones said, we lose so much, we don't know what victory looked like. So we trying to paint having a life insurance policies or having your own little private enterprise as a victory. We don't even know what victory looks like. So anything we can, label as halfway positive endeavor, we want to call it rebellion or liberation. When most of the positive things we look at are actually really surrenders. And for Black people to be looking at leisure as something we earn, that's not liberation. That's not challenging the system. That's literally a surrender to our oppressors. That Protestant work ethic, where their hard work sacrifices is God's mandate for the peasants and serfs. I'm like, we don't even have slave mentalities anymore. We literally have serf and peasant mentalities, which is a step down from the slave mentality.
I want to have
clip because your boy from Earn Your Leisure agrees with that last point there about our mindset.
Oh yeah. He said,
but go ahead, Geechee.
No, real quick. I would love to have a black life insurance salesman come on who builds out his argument on how it's gonna create generational wealth or how it's going to be a liberation tool or whatever. I think I know of one person, but I would like to.
I'm happy to have them. I would love, but look at, first of all, look at the what you've shared with us here. First of all, we have to be clear, and this is so much of what I see when it comes to the buying power mythology. This is a report based on survey data about how a select number of people feel, as opposed to data that explains, or an analysis that explains how people end up where they are and why they may end up feeling the way they feel. So in other words, whether or not, as the report here says, 64% of white respondents believe the purpose of buying life insurance is to protect their families from unpaid debt, such as mortgage. That's compared to 37% of black respondents who said the same. That is in and of itself irrelevant in terms of how white people ended up with the wealth they have versus what black people do and don't have, and what the realities are about life insurance and its impact on wealth. So this report so far that I've seen does not explain if life insurance does impact wealth. Can it impact wealth? Does it relate to wealth at all? It's just it's produced by a life insurance company to encourage people to buy life insurance by promoting what a handful of people feel might be the reality. And there's the next paragraph.
You mean to tell me Haven Life Insurance Company isn't just giving us information for information's sake, just to enlighten us? You mean they're trying to promote a product to us as opposed to just inform us for information's sake? How can you be so cynical?
It's terrible. I know. It's terrible of me to say. But in the next paragraph, black respondents, 22%, were almost 3 times more likely than white respondents, 8%, to think of life insurance as needed for building generational wealth. One possible reason for this difference in life insurance perspectives could be the racial wealth gap, with white families having a median net worth of $171,000 compared to $17,600 for black families. And if we go by what Diedrich Muhammad, I think more accurately said, as he's come through here a number of times to explain, those numbers aren't even accurate. And it's
right.
really
I was about
closer
to say,
to
where my
$6,000.
stacks?
Yeah, it's more. So he's broken down how those numbers are evolved and why they're inaccurate, or inflated. But even with that, 17,000 is not much. But again, my point is, it's just. In other words, they're saying the inequality that exists may lead to people thinking that insurance will help them. Not that it will. Not that it's just it may. And the part that they don't include is what I think we're addressing with this all of our work collective in general, but specifically this formation, is that it's the promotion of this mythology by black people with powerful platforms to black communities, saying it's nonsense.
Worse than you think. Can I get a little deep on y'all? No. I'm about to get way deep. Where's my fez? Where's my
message?
I'm about to. Another
ready.
way to say earn your leisure is work makes one free, or work will make you free. And do you know where that phrase comes from?
Yes.
The word earn your leisure, aka work makes you free, was put over the top of the concentration camp of Auschwitz. The Nazis told the Jews, earn your leisure. Work makes you free. Earn your leisure literally means you have to work for freedom. You have to work for comfort. You have to work for relaxation. You have to work hard in order to be worthy of not working. That is literally, that is not a liberatory, that is not an empowerment statement. That is literally something that is told to peasants, slaves, and victims of the concentration camp. So, I mean, we lose so much, we forgot what victory looks like. Work will set you free.
Just to support, that's
Yeah, my German's not that good.
I don't even. I hate the language so much. It sounds like shit
That's
to
what
me. So
work,
I just, but
right.
Work
Well,
will
yeah,
set you free.
Work will
the
set
sign
you free.
stolen
How
from
is
the
that,
gate of the Nazi former Auschwitz death camp. Yep.
How is that any different than earn your leisure? What's the difference? What's the difference between earning your leisure and working for your freedom?
Oh, okay. Look, Geechee did the same thing. Look, no, there's no difference. We scrambling. Look, here we go. Who we got?
Arbeit macht frei.
There you go.
Arbeit macht frei. Okay.
Arbeit macht frei.
All right.
So that's what we should say to them every time we hear them when they get their assets over liabilities.
Sound like they caping now. They caping. See, everybody caping or capping.
Right.
Wow, that's deep. That's deep. Okay, right on. No, you did get deep. I like that. All
right. I mean, it just rubs me the wrong way that they're trying to sell this Protestant work ethic, this peasant serf mentality, and they got the nerve to call people to say, no, I'm not earning my leisure. That's something that's inherent to life. That's something I'm born with. I'm not about to, I don't owe nobody my life in order to live my life. So and they got the nerve to call somebody else out for with a slave mentality.
We got it. That's the point. That's what we're saying. Work for your liberation.
Liberation is something different. Securing your resources, securing your own security, securing your own space. That's different. That is something we have to work for because it's something that was taken from us by force.
So what happens when you have to, or when you engage with elders? So for instance, I've saw Diallo argue with Sister Barry before, and she was on one of my posts recently, and
Mama Marva Berry.
Mama Marva, yeah.
I have had the pleasure of meeting and knowing her a little bit and wish her well. I don't know that we're on the same side of this particular issue, but just so we're clear.
She went off on me.
Yeah, but she kind of went off on me a little bit too. But this idea of generational wealth, and I asked like Claire questions, and she responded like, my husband was the Panther 21, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, I understand, but I'm not sure that all of the 21s will also be talking about generational wealth right now. But anyway, so
I mean, we talk. I mean, we talk to Daruba on a regular basis. If you talk about Panther 21s, and I haven't heard any of that from him yet. In fact, quite the opposite. He's very much been about. In fact, he was a political prisoner for so long because he was about earn your liberation.
Right.
He was like, that's what he was working for. Right. So I'm not. Yeah, that.
Right. And it's pretty absurd to be under genocidal oppression across the globe, under capitalist oppression, white hegemony, and we think when we get resources, that's the time to sit down. When we get resources, should strengthen our obligation and strengthen our resolve for empowerment. Simply getting money and feeding into the GDP and extracting wealth from other people's labor, which is the only real source to fiat accumulation, is the exploitation of other people's work, because nobody can do $1 billion worth of work. It's a very backwards notion. It's a very, very, it's like, if you surpass your cotton quota on the plantation, is a path towards emancipation. We picked cotton so efficiently and accumulated so much wealth for the slave economy that we earned our freedom. It's just an obscene.
The farthest
concept.
I got, and this is the limit. I'm really glad you made that Auschwitz point. The farthest I got with it was the one more bail theory. That Earn Your Leisure is pushing that one more bail theory that the sharecroppers were told, that lie, that if you pick enough cotton, produce enough cotton, you can buy out the loan we've given you for your freedom now to sharecrop. And of course, at the end of every year, they would just be one bale short of making that quota and have to go back into servitude, et cetera, and so forth. it's that same kind of, that's as far as I got with the comparison. But I think you drew out the more perfect one. And thanks, Kevin, for your super chat support. And by the way, just again,
I think that's what.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, I think that's why I kind of wanted to either hear a good layout of this life insurance investment as a way for Black people to build wealth. Now, I don't listen to Dave Ramsey, but I was trying to find out. Listen, I was trying to find, I know, I was trying to find like, yo, who is talking about this life insurance as investment? And then like, I just wanted to know more because I haven't heard a good layout, but Dave said it's like, they like the payday lenders of the middle class. So it's
who is Dave Ramsey? I don't know who this is. Who is this?
Dave Ramsey is a Christian fundamentalist who teaches Christian values, how to utilize Christian values in order to bring you to capitalist wealth. And his slogan is the only way to financial peace is through the Prince of Peace, Jesus Christ.
So I think I don't know if he's solely responsible for people who talk about their blow money and their budget and all these budgeting.
Yeah, he says the reason why the youth are poor is because they buy lattes. He's on that bullshit. You know, avocado toast and lattes is the reason why the youth are not able to buy homes and have one income households, and the mother stays home in the traditional 1950s. It's the reason why they can't do the shit they did in the 50s is because they buy avocado toast and lattes. And he runs his capitalist enterprise. Like if he has a single woman get pregnant, he fires them from his enterprise. And if you don't live according to Christian values, you can't work for him.
Like Chick-fil-A.
He moved his business to like a right to work state where they can fire you at any time for any reason so that he could operate that way. So so that his workers have no rights whatsoever, you know. But if you haven't heard of Dave Ramsey, you're doing something right in your life.
I really haven't.
Right
so I'm
type
doing
of life.
right.
You're doing something. You on the right path. You on a
But this is why I pulled this up before.
Never apologize for making money. Right. Because we in a capitalistic society. This is what they put us in. I ain't choose to be in America. This is what I was born in. So I'm gonna make the most of the opportunity that's provided for me. They demonize wealth and say, oh, you got to be poor. And you know, somebody said on the other day, they said Jesus said that you have a rich man has the odds of a needle in a haystack of making it to heaven. That's the odds of a poor person. That's what they never told you.
Oh, Jesus is like poor people. It's even more harder. It's like a freight truck through the eye of the needle. So white people. So he's suggesting there's a chance that if Jesus was allowed to continue speaking, he would have said it's hard for rich people to get there, but it's damn near impossible for poor people.
Listen, that dude and his analogies and his research is horrible. The other video you sent us about him talking about the fly analogy or the flea, which they did a research. They put fleas in a jar, he covered the jar up. And he started talking about like the fleas, they had kids and the kids.
No. Wait, the fly. Wait a minute though, because I spent at least 1 solid hour after you sent that. And I don't know if we have the clip. If you all have that link, I can't find it. But if you want to, I'm happy to share that. But
yeah, I think I got it.
Just to be clear, I spent after at least an hour looking for that report. And what I ended up finding was a lot of real research that is fascinating about using the study of flies and how their life cycles work and what happens in different environments. But I didn't see any of this crabs in a barrel reference that he was making about flies in a jar. That of course, as we'll show in the clip, I think you get it, like there is no source. Like the reason I had to spend an hour looking for something I never found is because he doesn't provide a source or a link.
YouTube,
he said on YouTube.
Yeah,
I went and found it on YouTube. But there's a lot of interesting stuff on YouTube. There's even really good research on YouTube.
Yeah,
but just put the link in there so we can go see it. Yeah, don't hate on YouTube. Stop hating on weed smokers and stop hating on YouTube.
Can't speak. Like, I've never smoked weed. I don't know how that works.
See, that's your problem. That's your problem. Yeah. Free your mind, brother. and your ass will
Nope,
follow.
I told you. Thank you. Now, shout out to Nancy Reagan. She told me when I was like in the 3rd grade, just say no. And it's worked for me up to this. I'm the man I am today because of Nancy Reagan.
That's the quote. There you go. That's the headline.
I'm a DARE graduate. I'm a DARE graduate. Drug awareness and resistance. Officer Friendly. Shout out to Officer Friendly. Shout out to the DARE program.
We got to get our chat organized, man. We got too much stuff flying around.
Yeah,
there to keep track of.
Diallo. I had to send the Facebook link because I can't find it, but it's on YouTube too. But I gotta find it. But I saw the flea in the jar.
Here we go.
I just didn't see much after that.
I don't know what that is.
It's flies though, Geechee. We about accuracy here.
He said flies, but I'm saying he said flies, but on the YouTube video there's fleas.
Oh, okay.
19 Keys has said something, and I actually looked it up on YouTube.
Hold up. Let's start that again, because he said he starts off with 19 Keys said something, and then I looked it up on YouTube. So he starts off with
the court's top thought leader.
19 Keys has said something, and I actually looked it up on YouTube, and it's actually true. Where
it's actually true.
They did a research study where they took flies and they put them in a jar. And they put a cap on a jar, and the flies obviously could only fly as high as the lid. When they took the lid off, they still only flew as high as the lid, even though the lid was off. That's interesting. But what's even more interesting is that when they had children, their children only flew as high as the invisible lid, because they were already programmed that that's only as high as you can go. So it's interesting, like so many different things when I think about it, and you probably don't even realize these things happen. But you ever heard like parents tell their children, like, you just played yesterday, you just had fun yesterday, you just had a party yesterday?
Yo,
fleas in a jar, kid.
You had fun yesterday. You can't.
But listen, you can't tell if a flea fly out unless you have something there to capture to show that the flea flew out. And the flea's not gonna have kids if they don't get blood. So I'm not sure what the fuck or where the fuck they get this. I don't know.
Well, first of all, this is just a rebranding of the crabs in a barrel thing, which is of course ridiculous because crabs' natural habitat is not a barrel. So if you put people in an unnatural condition, they're going. So if you concern yourself with the condition and earn your liberation, you don't have to worry about these mindset But go ahead, Diallo. Go ahead, man.
This is different than the crabs in the barrel because I like this one better because the crabs in the barrel suggest that us poor blacks are pulling them down.
Right.
So when Jay-Z and Beyonce are striving to the heights of billionaire status, it's us yanking down at their ankles. I was called by a wealthy rapper a gatekeeper. I was stopping that wealthy rapper from being a revolutionary because, he said, I'm a revolutionary. And I said, no, you're not. And then he was like, oh, you're gatekeeping me. So, I lost us a billionaire revolutionary to help our economy. But in the flea analogy, you're stopping yourself. Nobody's stopping you. So actually, this is an improvement. It is akin to it.
It's a sophistication.
It's an improvement because now us poor blacks are no longer to blame for the fleas who want to get higher. It's their own lack of motivation and drive. It's not us pulling them
down. The mindset. It's the middle class mindset that is stopping us from. So that's why I would say it's just a rebranding, a sophistication, and updating of it's mindset, but
it's a new lie.
You found something for us here? There
Training
you go.
fleas requires a glass jar with a lid. The fleas are placed inside the jar, and the lid is then sealed.
Why were the fleas so docile on the spoon?
They are left undisturbed for 3 days.
3 days.
Then, when the jar is opened, the fleas will not jump out.
There's no paper to catch to see if a flea jump out.
The fleas will never jump higher than the level set by the lid.
Because you can't tell if one or two fleas fly out. You can't tell.
Their behavior is now
set for
the rest of their lives.
Wow, they stay even laterally too. They can't even move lateral.
And when these fleas reproduce, Their
Reproduce.
offspring will automatically follow their example.
Where's the blood or the feces at? Where they gonna get the blood?
Fleas lay
So-
eggs.
But they gonna need the blood to reproduce.
So this is the problem with all these kind of silly
They
things.
stayed in the
Here's one
formation
problem.
of the jar.
Right.
So they don't go
So-
up, down, left, or right. That's sustainability. I might want to, because I'm all for sustainability. I don't like this perpetual growth of capitalism. I'm about to be a liditarian because I want to put caps on Earth. Okay. I'm changing up my whole philosophy.
A liditarian.
Yes.
I hear you. I see the logic in that.
equal.
But
look at that stability. Look at the order.
But the problem, though, is of course that this is my point about the context of the jar or the barrel or whatever. For instance, if fleas did decide to organize and rebel and fly out, they would be killed. They would be hunted down and killed. That would be discouraged by the scientists, the lab technicians, the cleaning crew, et cetera, and so forth. So that would be my point here. And then it also does not account for all the YouTube channels directing themselves at the fleas, telling them not to rebel. All right. So in telling them to circulate their fleeness and to stay within the confines of a capitalist construct that produces the protective space for them to stay in. In other words, the Earn Your Leisures are telling the fleas to stay in that jar and just do better within the jar.
Right.
They're not
Capitalism
telling,
is a jar.
and they're telling people like us who would be saying, destroy the jar, explode the lid, and the scientists that put us in there. Nah, you're doing too much. You're not practical. You're not mature. You're not responsible.
Right.
Or you're hating.
Right. The dude literally said, I was born into this system. You know, I was born into the system. Imagine that. Right. I'm going to pick this cotton. I'm going to sit at the back of the bus. I'm going to drink out the water fountain, the colored water fountain.
In another clip, although he said he's born into the system there, in another clip, he said he's always been liberated. Even before he got rich, he's always been liberated. And it's proof because he took a trip to Asia for 30 days and stayed 2 nights in the hotel.
Where he stayed the rest of the days.
I have no idea, but the dude math is impeccable. I mean, I don't know, but he's always been rich.
Ate in the streets with the people.
I don't know. Listen, I'm starting to worry about. They got 1 million followers. I'm starting to worry.
Damn.
That we should be looking more to the folks who actually believe this shit and and even they will navigate around all the dumb shit and be like, well, they said this though. They did say this though. Because this thing is true. So, like, I'm more worried about those people.
Well, shoot, you ain't got to worry for long.
Didn't you show us? My bad. I'm having all kinds of little issues over here. Didn't you show us some people defending these folks?
Yeah, in the life insurance policy chat. Your homeboy Ross or Boss, whatever the fuck his name is. In their chat, people are saying, yeah, this is a brilliant idea. But then somebody said,
wait, that insurance dude is a dude you saying I was on that show with?
You was on a show with him. He's the financial literacy rapper. He swear he has bars. All his songs is shit. You play one of his songs right now, you're gonna laugh. The dude got a video of him asking for change. And then saying, he said, you don't need no money, brother. You don't need no money. You need some knowledge. And he gave him a little card. And then he got rich when he looked at the card. Like the dude.
Get rich.
Oh, this dude is trash, yo. I mean, I'm not a rapper, but I know I can out rhyme him. I know I got more bars than him. You got better bars than him. I promise you. But yo, he's a trap rapper, Wall Street trapper, black entrepreneur, financial literacy rapper.
But it's like I said, this really hit when Creflo Dollar and Bishop Eddie Long and them fell off. This hit really hard because they were primed for this from the prosperity gospel. You know, because I mean, to be honest, like it was a undertone in the black community that the pursuit of money and to adopt those values of white people, the materialistic, the greed and the avarice of our oppressors was inappropriate. That wasn't our culture. That's not how we behave, to be greedy. And we didn't elevate people within our community based on how much money they accumulate, but their principles and values. And so that was the myth, which gave birth to the myth of all our Black leaders die broke, or that not pursuing money, not necessarily being broke, but not pursuing money was evidence of a noble character, putting other things before the accumulation of money. That was all there. That was the undertone of the larger Black culture and Black movement. So this transfer to pursuing money and being all about the money, there had to be a cultural shift in the community. And the prosperity gospel, saying this Calvinistic philosophy that God demonstrates his favor by bestowing material wealth on his faithful, and people having material wealth was no longer a sign of greed, but a sign of God's favor, being blessed and highly favored. So this is a cancerous outgrowth of prosperity gospel, these prosperity politics and prosperity ideology. It's just an offshoot. But a lot of the prosperity gospel pushers lost credibility because the Christian element of it fell off.
So y'all get accused of shitting on Black businesses, shitting on these people who buying back their time or freeing up their time and donating to liberation or radical whatever movements. What are you saying? What are you saying as opposed to Black businesses, generational wealth, getting money, support, donations, or whatever? Like, what can we clear some shit up with those topics?
My main thing is I'm against distorting the impact of anything. Being a long-term, just I'm an atheist, but being an atheist, I've met a lot. What happened? Everybody?
You still there?
Oh,
I think we're having intermittent issues, but you're still there. Everything's good.
Being an atheist does not make you irrational. I've met a lot of irrational atheists. Being a vegan does not make you immune to chronic disease or acute sickness. Owning a business does not liberate you from the systems and institutions entrenched institutional oppression and racism of the system. It is also not a threat to those who seek to oppress and expose. So all I want to do is put things in proper perspective. I would encourage, if somebody had a business idea, I would encourage them. If somebody wanted to be a critical thinker, I encourage all this stuff. But my problem is the inappropriate rebranding or the distortion of these various activities and over selling or over promoting what these particular behaviors or ventures will do for the individual and what they mean to us as a collective. So I just want to put shit in its proper perspective. That's all.
So real quick, I before I respond, I see there's a major super chat that came with a good question that I want us to get to. So I'm not skipping or missing it. I just want to give it its proper space in a moment. But to respond to your question, Geechee, this is where I slightly disagree with what Diallo was just saying in terms of this cultural shift and the timing of it, because again, from my own humble research on this and just learning more about some of these histories, I think this has just been a problem since that has been infused in Black people here since enslavement. It is literally taken off of the plantation, this idea that business and prosperity are solutions, business and prosperity gospeling and et cetera are solutions to the condition of Black people post enslavement. In other words, slavery was a couple hundred years, but now you're free. And if you just get into the business, get your church right, get your financial literacy right, you will. So even in Abram Harris's work, again, that I've been talking about more lately here, going back to the 30s, he was already pointing to a tradition and a history of these nonsensical claims being false. So that's sort of what I'm saying. And like, there was already people in the late 19th century advocating for even buying power and circulating the black dollar and all this other kind of stuff that they were peeling off of misunderstood and misrepresented, imposed nonsense. And what we're seeing today and over time. So I would just simply say that the point that Diallo's talking about is an important rebranding effort in the genealogy. And today we're seeing another one, an updating, a rebranding, a reimposition of old messaging. So the whole flea and crab thing is actually a perfect analogy for what I'm talking about here in terms of the updating, the more sophisticated digitizing and distribution of it. Anyway, so that. And then ultimately to answer your question, very similar to Diallo. I've written this, I've said this explicitly over and over and over again. I am not opposed to any number of things that Black people and others do to improve their condition in the immediate moment. My issue is in the projection of these as overall solutions, as attempting to negate radical traditions in politics. And to limit us, to put that invisible cap on our intellectual and liberation struggles, to keep us as those fleas, not escaping farther than we should. So that's really all I'm saying. So what the argument that I or we are hating on entrepreneurs or business people or any attempt to pool our resources is exactly the opposite of what I'm saying. And I think many people who are saying that, to the extent that they pay attention to my work, are willfully misrepresenting it for their own purposes. But the idea that you're going to pool resources in a capitalist way and overcome capitalism and white supremacy is patent nonsense, and it has been demonstrated by historically data, qualitative, quantitative, whatever versions of methods you want. It has all been laid out from a variety of perspectives. So it's not even Jared's viewpoint or opinion. It is as an objective a fact as we can reach. All right. I'll stop there.
One of the things, real quick, I know you have Jared, you have your critiques of Jessica Gordon Nimhart's Collective Courage, but one of the things that I appreciated about it is, one, showing a history of collective struggle, creating cooperatives, studying together. I think, and based off the little research I've done about cooperatives help you get your time back too. So you have more time to study and join movements. You actually make more money at a lot of times and you're doing less work. So it's always ironic to me that these people are never talking about cooperatives. Now, maybe the Black World Order that we're going to talk about shortly, maybe they was trying to cooperative, but that shit was funny though. But their math wasn't mathing when they did their cooperative. But still, I would love to see, my critiques is I would love to see more people talk about that type of things, because they're claiming all this ideas of ownership, but the people who actually own all of the shit that they do actually are a conglomerate and they're owned by multiple people. So like Comedy Central, you can't like, who's the owner of Comedy Central? It'll be a fucking group and then another group and then another group. So that's kind of my critique. If you want to get into business, they getting into cooperatives or groups and they're doing it together. So that's what I'm asking.
But I do hate, because people often come with that and they say, oh, you don't want Black people to be rich, which I don't, but in this context. But if you really are anti-Black poverty, you have to be anti-capitalist. Capitalism does not create wealth for the masses. Even a lot of successful capitalists, honest, like Hillary Clinton even said, she's a capitalist, she supports capitalists, but she acknowledged when she was running for president, if there aren't very strict and solid regulatory policies in place, capitalism will harm most people. Capitalism is not a way to enrich the masses. And most of these people selling capitalism to the Black community, the only people that get paid from it are those people. Very seldom can they really, and I see a lot of these testimonials, and this is what I actually told a brother this. I had a brother who was into the crypto and all these other enrich yourself scams. And while he was making money, he was posting every day. He was posting screenshots of his accounts. He was posting the shit he bought and the grills. He was posting, just very vocal when he was coming up. but he lost everything. And he disappeared from social media. He went back to posting his dog and his kids. That's all it is. Family, dogs, kids. This is my birthday. That's it. No more financial posts. And a lot of these people, when they crash and burn, as they most inevitably will, they go silent. So there's this false impression that these people, everybody's that gets on these trains, on these various schemes, is balling out because, you know, it's just human nature. People are embarrassed. And I even told them, dude, you should be sharing as much about how this shit actually really plays out. You're doing a disservice to the community showing all this prosperity, but when the prosperity comes to its inevitable outcome, you disappear and you go silent, or you just post your dog and your kids on social media and you're no longer talking this prosperity bullshit.
I think some of it is also the responsibility of the readers or the listeners or the followers, because a lot of times these cats be just saying some shit and then they be telling the truth. Like, for instance, if you're telling poor people, low wealth people, people who don't have the resources to not be poor is to be invest. And then in the same breath, there's a brother, I think one of them, it might be Ross. He says, what you do about stock markets downturns depends largely on their time horizon for needing the money. The holding strategy works best for those who can wait it out for at least 3 to 5 years. So how the hell are you going to tell somebody who don't have no money to hold out for 3 to 5 years when they need the money now? So it's like they say this, they say some of these shit in their thing, but I guess we get caught with the flashy words and the like 19 Keys said he had to put on his jewels because this is the money he got from the market, right? So they get caught up in all this flashy shit and they don't really listen to the like, wait, these niggas ain't investing their way out of poverty.
The coach's top thought leader.
That's funny. And then there's another.
Real quick though, that's the point though, Geechee. Where you ended is that as we've touched on here many times. I would be amazed. Obviously I don't have the data. I can't prove this. I would be amazed if any of these folks could prove that whatever wealth they've accumulated has come from investment and not from the platforms promoting investment. So it's the same thing. When Steve Harvey comes on EYL and tells people to do better financially by investing this, that, and third, you're not explaining how you got where you are. You didn't get there by being a comedian, by an actor. EYL
no, but he did on that one. On that one, he did explain it. He said he was 8 million in hole in debt. He was worth 40 million. Him and his wife got worried and they was about to lose it all. And he said, I went to work. I went to start hosting shit. He ain't saying he literally said that shit on there. And then he said, we don't got it like you think. Like, so Steve Harvey was actually telling the truth on EYL. But again, I think it's all the flashy shit.
It's not framed in that way. It's framed as because the bookends were you have to be financially literate. And that if you and then of course they were using him for the Invest Fest to bring it back to the point of investment. But it's the same thing. I don't think Earn Your Leisure or any of these cats are making more money from investment than they are from people investing in them for their classes, for their platforms, for their merch, et cetera, and so forth.
And let me tell the hood, financial literacy is relevant. My grandmother, who raised 6 children and 3 grandchildren on her own, was extremely financial literate. Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, or any of these investment gurus could not have accomplished what she accomplished with the limited resources that she had. Feed, clothe, and house. And all big boys, all her sons were over 6 feet and over 200 pounds. And she got them off to college, off to gainful employment, got me and my siblings off to college and gainful employment. Financial literacy is relevant. Just because you're not on Wall Street doing that nonsense and playing those monopoly games. You know, you got to stop shaming black people.
But Diallo, let's be fair.
About financial literacy, because I've seen the hood make something out of nothing.
Your wonderful grandmother also had the support of Nancy Reagan in the DARE program. So yes. Be honest about your development. You told the truth earlier.
Yeah,
Let's
using those policies, right. That's part of the literacy. Food stamp, Section 8, you know, going down there knowing how to
and just say no.
That, you know, right. And
so I I was looking for some receipts. I was looking for some receipts about people coming up in that space. And Ian Dunlap, again, I'm not sure if any of it's true because in one page he says he's worth 40 million, 12, 3, 8. I don't know. But Ian Dunlap is the one, and maybe somebody can research this, but he's supposed to be the only one that has made money off of investment. Everybody else is just kind of speculating. But supposedly Ian Dunlap.
Yeah, he said he's the master investor. And everything the one time I tried to look into that, everything would have required some investment to get the details. It's everything. A lot of his stuff is behind a paywall. You got to buy into his investment group and his classes and stuff like that. I'm not going to do all of that. So I'll,
but I do have to say,
real quick though, there's a new good documentary about this on one of these platforms that we should even talk about at some point. The only time someone has every time someone dominates that way in the market, they're exposed as being a fraud. So they were a new series on the Madoff scandal gets back into the history of how Madoff, I think it's on Netflix, and it's very good. And one of the points that it makes is that the people who did catch him and try to report him, but were ignored by the people who should have done something about it, the first thing they said was he's always producing 9%, 12% and up returns. He never loses. How is that possible? It can't be. And they even showed the graph. It literally constantly went up. So if Ian Dunlap is claiming some sort of I beat the stock market, either A, you're the only one who can do it, or B, you're not doing it, or C, even if you're right, the black people you're encouraging to follow you don't have enough to invest to turn that even accurate investment strategy into more real wealth. So
yeah, the reality is the stock market is there to sustain and launder wealth. It's not really there to build wealth. Most people, they say 80% of stocks are owned by the top 10% of investors.
More than that. What does that say?
So
yeah, that's it.
And
yep.
All right, so the stock market does more to sustain the status quo. It doesn't actually change or challenge the status quo.
Right. Hey, so look, I know we were getting towards wrapping up. Did you want us to look at that other clip, Geechee? We got another,
either the mindset or the Black World Order. I know we got to wrap up, so either one of them. So if you want to go with more, Earn Your Leisure. So the mindset one is this one, and then the Black World Order one is I got to send that one, but it depends on which one y'all want to go.
Well, I'll just start with this one. We can stop it if you want to pull up the other one, I'm happy to do that too. But and we obviously don't have to run the whole thing, but
I wasn't gonna take the tweet down.
And that's Ian Dunlap, by the way.
I'm talking about Skip. I told you about Skip. No, go ahead. I'm gonna let you finish your monologue. We won't have them issues on our show. Go ahead.
So it's important to understand before I say this, we come from a working class environment, like, sanitation workers and nurses and school teachers and, real hardworking people that saved up for a vacation maybe once every 2 years, working to send their kids to college, different things of that nature, right? So I want to preference it before I say that.
Okay.
No.
Yo, wait,
no, it's important.
What's going on?
But there is a thing called middle class mediocre mindset. I think I've coined that phrase. I haven't heard anybody else say
The coach's top thought leader.
I was just thinking about it, and it's extremely detrimental to your success if you're trying to break out of it. And you don't really realize it until you're out of it. It's like the Matrix. You never really realize you're in the Matrix until you break out of the Matrix.
That's deep. Nobody's ever used that movie to make a point before. That's deep.
Something, and I looked it up on.
Yeah, that's what we got there. All right, we watched that part already on the fleas and stuff. So let me pull this up here because we got a super chat that I really do appreciate. Not only in terms of the amount, I appreciate $49.99. Thank you. JM says, being devil's advocate, But why will EYL have y'all on their show if you guys don't agree with their brand and ideology? Will you go on just to debate them? What will y'all be debating about? Do you think their viewership will tune in for that? So I'll speak for myself. My intent has never been to go on their platform or to debate them or to argue with them. My intent has been to just respond in terms of some of their content and to try to offer up some jokes and have some fun, but also to offer up the corrective analysis and point people in the direction that you know, and because of my own work around buying power and cryptoganda and all of that, I've come to appreciate how powerfully prevalent these folks are and pervasive they are, whether it's students in my classes, people sending me clips, the amount of viewers and subscribers they have, the platforming on mainstream media now. They're on Math Hoffa's show now. They're everywhere. I can't avoid them. And almost everything I hear them say is either wildly inaccurate, demonstrably false, a rebrand of some strain of accuracy, and works against everything that I would be about. So I'm not interested in going on their platform, nor would they invite us. They're not interested in having an actual discussion with anyone who would be able to substantively refute what they're and I'll stop here by saying, as we've demonstrated today, I don't think we've been unfair. Almost all of their methodology is been demonstrated today. I heard something here, I looked up something there. There's no evidence of sustained study. There's no reference to actual research that I've seen in their work. Obviously I don't see everything, but I don't get that they're very, very serious, other than in becoming brand ambassadors, making money off of this scheme or this approach, becoming, you know, and having a career that they wouldn't be able to have in any other, to make money in ways that they wouldn't be able to make in any other avenue. You know, through their athletic careers, their educational careers. A little bit I know about their background. They were never going to make this kind of money and have this kind of notoriety. They found a lane that works, and are being rewarded for it by an environment and a society that wants to punish the rest of us with this kind of mythology and propaganda. So anyway, go ahead.
I'd like to speak to, because this is a relatively new, where the guy had asked about when did this cultural shift change, because there were always gangsters and racketeers and hustlers and pimps in the Black community, but there was a marked time where that became mass entertainment and the mass aesthetic, because in the 80s, where the Gordon Gekko, Reagan, neoliberal, when capitalism finally tore down the Iron Curtain and showed to be the only, there was no alternative to capitalism. And so after the 80s Gordon Gekko era, coming into where Black people got a little late, and you remember those same rappers, gangster rap in the 90s and late 80s was I ride around in a hoopty. I'm thugging because I'm broke. And then by the time Biggie Smalls dropped in the 92, 93, it became Rolex watches and colorful swatches. I'm digging in pockets, and the materialism no longer becoming something that the average person in our community shunned. It went from being an inappropriate mindset to being an aspirational goal within that turn, when white folks went and opened up the stock market and made the stock market something that all people should participate in. Everyone should be invested, when before that was just the playground of the rich and the avaricious.
Right.
But also, I just want to speak to, because it's just that earn your leisure shit is, like I said, that's some old concentration camp rhetoric, but it also plays off of the whole lazy, no account Negro, that Black people's, our natural inclination is to put our feet up and play the banjo and just be a people of leisure. Leisure is just what we do. And unless there is some drive, some incentive, some punishment or retribution to encourage us to work, because it really plays off of that stereotype of the lazy, no account Negro, that all we do is want to just be barefoot and have babies and don't want to do no real work. So when you come up with that earn your leisure trope, that is an old racist trope, and it just eats away at me.
Yeah.
Go on.
But it also like, so in the clip, they actually said what you said in terms of the the middle class was built and it made us lazy and all this other shit. But when they talk about earn your leisure, Jared said it best when he says we're earning their leisure, because in this concept of earning leisure, they talk about investing in companies who have massive exploitation of employees. So he gets leisure, but your ass gonna go to work. And if all of us have the same leisure he have, who the fuck gonna build the companies? So the point is not to join their whatever the fuck they got going on. The point is, if we have this idea of questioning everything, why the fuck that stop when these cats get on? Right. Why we not questioning them, and why these cats can say white think tank content and white right content in blackface? And so this dude talking about he living the American dream and shit. He's living it at the highest level. Like, what the fuck? What your evidence? What does that even mean?
That's literally selling surrender as rebellion, or selling surrender as a victory, which is extremely insidious.
And maybe I'm petty, but I still want to see the receipts. You say you was liberated before you was rich. I don't even know if you're rich now. And your verbal receipts is because you went to Asia for 30 days and spent 2 nights in the hotel, and that's proof that you was rich before you got. You was liberated before you got the money. So like, you got cats who's making this type of claims and these statements, and people eating that shit up. So again, the objective is definitely not to go on the show. It's more so of like, yo, are you real? Is this really something that you think is credible? Like, these cats is exposing themselves right to left, right? You got Boosie can't even pronounce fucking words, right? And these are really your thought leaders. Man, hit the drop again.
I will say what. my bad. That's on the wild timing, man.
The coach's top thought leader.
But it also I'll admit one other little piece of this too, that a lot of times we hear popular critiques of the so-called ivory tower scholars, the fake academics, the bougie professors with their degrees. They don't care about the people. They're not down with the people. And I'm offended at that, not only personally, but because of the collective of people that I have worked with and know and don't know, and the many I don't know, who work within academia to produce the data and the analysis that would expose their analysis as fraudulent. And yet they aren't maybe desiring of the platform, or they don't have access to the platforms, or they're not as not all of us are as whatever in public that attracts not only an audience, but the algorithm and the white advertising money to sustain it. And we're out here producing all this work. Never mind the actual activists who are in the streets trying to build revolution. And then they look up and there are these very well-coiffed, platformed, digitally pervasive, well-produced Black spokespeople saying the exact opposite.
We all die penniless. But that's the problem, though. With all the work we do, we die penniless.
Thank you, ZZ Lion Dad.
Now we got $10. We ain't penniless. We got $10.
So the
all
next
they
time
are is a timeshare crypto prosperity advertisement salesman. You guys are warning people about that. Taking from X Street Team salesman, 125th CT flat. Right off. Street teams. Shout out to all the street teams, man. Legendary propagandists, man.
So we about to get to the next video, but when you got people who talking about generational wealth, the 4 pillars of generational wealth, and they bringing in cultural thought leaders, they never talk about violence. They never talk about public policy. They do, but they never talk about fraud. Those are 3 pillars that build wealth: violence, public policies, and fraud. They ass doing fraud, and they still ain't building wealth. So why would we want them to allow to project themselves as cultural thought leaders? And then eventually your damn kids gonna be saying that same dumb shit because they're gonna keep.
That's just because you have a middle class mediocrity mindset, Geechee.
You're right. I need to work on
elevate yourself.
Damn.
The coach's top thought leader.
I'm gonna go sit in the glass jar and listen to 19 Keys for 20 hours.
Right.
Oh my God.
And that's weird too, because who's going to buy what they're selling? I mean, yeah, but the black community is really primed for that type of exploitation, because it's like y'all were saying, it's this whole, you can make it if you really are willing to do the work and you're willing to get out your comfort zone. And I would just encourage the people who do buy into this shit, or even if you like old school and you following Dave Ramsey financial prosperity program, start sharing your failures, and not to tear yourself down, but as a because all these success testimonials, I know so many people. I know a dude who went all in way back in the early 2000s, day trading. Remember, that was the way, and they had all them guys talking about day trading and microtransactions and penny stocks. I know a dude who watched like his six-figure account just start to drop. He get up every morning, go to the local cafe, and just start, moving data around a computer. And when it started to drop, the program kicked him out, and he lost like 90% of his cash, real money. He lost like 90% of his cash, and before he could log back in. So I wish the people who, because most of us are not going to get rich, and the few of those who do get rich are going to lose their wealth. And I'm not saying that to discourage it. I'm saying that capitalism, it's not a wealth creation system. It's a wealth concentration system. It's literally a wealth concentration. So if you're a crab on the lower part of that barrel, shamelessly clip at those stepping on your head. Shamelessly pull them down. Shamelessly bring them down. Back down here, back down to earth. Not just for our own salvation, but for their own good.
I wish I could find a clip too. I don't know. Well, y'all remember, I know y'all a little bit old, but when children preachers was a thing back in the days, I was kind of young when children preachers. Y'all probably
still.
But there was this one children preacher or child preacher who became an adult, and he said, like, during training, they told him how to say this homiletically structured speech on the radio, and there will be 40,000 grandmothers, and at least 5,000 of them will give you the last $20 out of the piggy bank. That's going to get you at $100,000. So preying on vulnerable people, it's been a thing. I mean, and I don't think it's only black people, because there's multiple people. I've seen the research was all white people in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and all of them living in homeless shelters and still believe in the American dream. They feel like they're one choice away from making it big. So,
hey, real quick, since we got a good sizable audience right now, before we hit this next clip, let me just remind people that they need to go ahead and do that, and then let's check out this clip you sent here before unfortunately we have to get out of here for the day. But was this where you wanted it to start, by the way, Geechee?
Nah, that's probably where I was looking at, but not.
Okay. Go to the beginning.
Yeah.
See, it's funny how many people be talking about how they black gods, how we black kings, how we black queens. When I look at your lifestyle, there's no legacy, there's no kingdom about it. When you talk about the order, you talk about understanding trading. When you talk about the order, you talk about God-like mentality. When you talk about the order, you talk about omnipresence online. When you talk about the order, you talk about building your own banking system. What you got to understand is that you can't call yourself a god, a king, or a queen without having system and order in place. That's why you need the order. We're going to help you be able to take your family trajectory to the next level and build real wealth and take your family to the next level. Welcome to the order.
Hey, Pocket Watchers. Do you want to know what happened to BWO, the pro-black financial super team that was doing it for the culture? Now, it was all about collaboration.
By the way, I can't front. I like JT, the Pocket Watchers show. He is a rabid capitalist. He loves America. He believes that there's a right way that this can happen for black people. And he does do the whole black people are poor because too many black people are stupid and lazy. But when he gets into his bag of catching these people in their lives, because
fucking them up.
I love it. I love
so
it.
so
Anyway,
so Asafo put me on him, and then that's when I shared it to you a while back. But ever since,
so this came out a couple weeks ago. This video here. So he was reviewing what happened to them because apparently they broke up. Right? They're not together anymore.
Quick.
Okay. So
listen, hey, I need Dr. Dre's lawyer's number because I am the proprietor of the African World Order, and this looks like an infringement. Even their logo.
Bro, you ain't teaching people about financial literacy, so you trying to be?
No, I'm not.
You poverty.
You
won't have a case.
Hey,
they're not hurting your brand. And do we want to play more of this?
What?
Like,
I don't have a case. Hey, speak for yourself, man. Now you trying to hurt my pocket?
Get your hand on my pocket.
Dr. Dre, I'm about to snitch.
No, we need to go to the part where they talk about they ain't no 19 Keys job. Nobody.
Oh, when he was explaining what his contribution is.
Yeah. He said they said we don't know. He said we don't know what he did.
I have to let Jabril explain what he actually
go back with. Well, that's cool.
The other founder on what Jabril actually does. Expert in day trading. And last we have Jabril Jones, aka 19 Keys. All right, now listen. I'm going to be honest. It is extremely hard to explain what Jabril actually does.
The coach's top thought leader.
My source, who was a part of BWO on the inside, all of the other founders were a little confused on what Jabril, 19 Keys, what he actually brings to the table.
The coach's really top thought leader.
A tangible course like the other founders. So I have to let Jabril explain what he actually does.
I go by 19 Keys. My value add to the culture and the BWO. I'm an architect of mindsets. You understand me? I allow people to unlock their mind to build the exact type of mindset that they need to actually be successful. Teaching you actually how to learn and download the information so you can upgrade and have a paradigm shift to go into a higher consciousness when it comes to becoming a man, and when it comes to building a legacy. You understand me? Leading beyond life. And that's the establishment of principles, universal law, order, organization.
All right, so let's get
the coach's top thought leader.
According to my source, who was an insider in BWO, this is how the founders split up the money. Now, all of the founders who actually had a tangible course inside the BWO brand, they would receive 80% of the fees of their intellectual property. 20% would stay back for overall management fees. Jabril, since he really didn't have a course, they worked out a deal where he would get an affiliate link. Anyone who signed up for BWO using Jabril's link, he would get 50% of the sales. That's how they worked it out. And for the first few months, everything was going great. But then there was success. But success came in the form of an automated trading bot.
But today was the official rollout of my automated trading program. So making this retail investment space more accessible to the retail trader.
Yeah.
So I released it in the community today, probably about 45 minutes ago.
Wow.
And in less than an hour, I think last time I looked at the numbers right before we came up, did about 1.2 million in the last 45 minutes.
I mean, real numbers.
Yeah, real numbers.
Real numbers, real life,
yeah.
Real life numbers.
As you just heard, Chris Cole put into the BWO platform his own auto trader bot. If you have no idea what that is, let me try to explain. An auto trader bot is supposed to be a software that will buy and sell assets for you on a particular exchange, be it stocks, bonds, mutual funds, cryptocurrency. it will buy and sell and attempt to make a profit for you automatically. Now, the issue with that is they don't really work. And let me explain why. If you had a bot, if you had a software that will buy and sell different things
at the right time, and everybody would do it.
And more than not, it is successful. Anyone who would develop a software like that would not be selling it to the general public. It doesn't make sense. If you develop a software that will buy and sell things on a marketplace, and it generally, for the most part, makes a profit for the person, that has so much value that it would just be stupid for someone to sell it for even $10,000 or $15,000 a pop. You could sell it for billions of dollars if it actually worked. It's a sucker's bet. These things don't work.
Put in the comment section how much you made, or if you made some money today alone or this week
is a problem.
With the auto trader. Put it in the comment section so everybody else can hear you. With no further ado, we about to bring up someone who has a testimony with the auto trader.
We want to keep watching this. Is that what we're saying? Like, is it?
Nah,
okay.
we done.
Okay.
We done.
Okay.
They can watch that later.
But those auto traders, they have those machines that make like 1 trillion trades a second. Like, and they like have these giant warehouses where they have the servers and they put them like under waterfalls because they generate so much heat. And they're trading like at pennies and nickel and dimes. There is this like that's not something you can just run out of your house. That trading bots, that's one thing, but there is this that technology exists, and it does generate a trickle of capital, but regular everyday people don't have that processing capacity, and they're not in that game. That's like some Federal Reserve level money manipulation, because I read about those bots, and even the Congress is actually trying to come up with some legislation to limit that, but I'm sure he's not talking about those like those server farms.
No, the
trillion trades a second type bots.
No, I think they mean to suggest that they're involved in something like that, but they're not. This is the one I keep mentioning. Aladdin, run by BlackRock and Larry Fink, is in the trillions of dollars that BlackRock owns, but it also is the platform that they lease or share or whatever that allows other elite traders to use it. And I've read that it puts over more than the US GDP gets run through that annually. More than 20-some trillion dollars every year gets run through that thing, all of which is most of which is there under the purview of BlackRock.
Yeah, so that's what they're
doing.
Yeah, well, hey, you know,
this I don't know what, but apparently what JT was talking about is that they're claiming that they got some version of this, but it doesn't work. It's not gonna. If as he said, if it was gonna work, it would first, and then beyond that, to the extent that there is anything other than a Ponzi thing happening with just the general capitalist market system, the ability to determine what is going to work and not work, it relies on so many variables. There's not even Aladdin is going to be able to accurately predict every single thing. Yeah. And then to my point, if you don't have any real money, you could be right 100% of the time. And if you're only able to invest a few $100 or $1,000, it's not going to make you any money. And Black people don't have anything. So you could be, even if their bot worked, Black people don't have enough to invest to have it turn into something that would work for a collective or even a large bot.
Anyway. Stop me if this has been brought up before. It's just a short thing. How did that dude steal Elijah Muhammad's kufi? And why ain't nobody? Has that been brought up? Has that been addressed?
The coach's top thought leader.
I mean,
hey, listen, man. don't deal with their hierarchy over there. But hey, question. Let's say
Elijah Muhammad bootleg. I mean, Farrakhan needs to get on the phone to Dr. Dre's lawyer. Me and Farrakhan got cases.
Farrakhan is dealing with the white boy
Nation of Islam
in Chicago right now. Your preacher. What's your little white the white preacher that he always talked to him? He hugging and kissing him? Yeah, like
Father Flager. He beat that case. He beat that child molestation case.
What is this? I don't. Never mind.
The white boy that Farrakhan be chilling with. Anyway, listen.
A Jesuit priest.
I got a more important question. So let's say
more important than figuring out how he got hold of Elijah Muhammad's kufi.
I'm gonna show you right now.
Y'all just sitting here like that's normal.
I'm gonna show you right now. Listen. What if one of these companies that they're investing in, that they tell you to invest in, that has a lot of black workers or workers in general, and they go on strike or whatever to get more money? Could they get more money organizing their labor and getting more money than they can buying investments for the company? So again, Amazon, buying stocks in Amazon as an employee versus organizing to get paid more, better resources and things like that. Is there a comparison out there?
We've already seen that. I mean, I don't know if there's I'm not sure if there's any one source that would address that exact question, although I think many sources address that question indirectly, just in terms of the history of labor struggle, and a critique of capitalism. So in other words, the idea, if I understand your question, that Amazon workers could have collaborated or collectively pooled resources and invested in Amazon stock to overturn the power of Bezos and give themselves more power within the company, as opposed to organizing themselves as a labor force, as they have been doing, to force concessions. I don't see how poor people who are already wanting to unionize to get better pay could pool enough money to out-invest Bezos or some other coagulated, that's not the word I'm looking for, some other arrangement of consolidated ownership of Amazon stock to then reset the course of that business and its structure and its labor relations, to say that they're all able to live off of the wealth that they're producing, as opposed to all going to Bezos. I don't see how that would work. I think they're better off doing what they have been attempting to do, and with more of our support, it would reverberate, and I think has and is reverberating to other areas of labor and the economy. So anyway, but I'm not aware, if that example has been dealt with more directly, or that comparison, please someone let me and us know. Okay, all right, good people. So listen. Anything you all want to, let's wrap up here. Anything you all want to alert folks to that you got coming up? Anything you want to leave us in terms of parting thoughts for the day, for the week?
I just sent T.O. Hardiman a text, and I will be calling him when we get off the air. It slipped my mind, but if y'all want to go through with this, if y'all want to, go through this spectacle, I just contacted T.O. and I'll call him again this afternoon. I see people in the like that's something. So fine, I'll go out here and roam around the South Side, cold ass, dreary South Side with T.O. to satisfy the audience.
Just put on 2 of your scarves. You'll be all right. 2 scarves.
You don't know, man. You don't know nothing. Don't give me fashion tips. You don't know how to. I be styling on you.
I used to have scarves too back in the day. So don't, if I can find one of them,
you don't want a scarf battle. Cause I got nice things, man. Don't do that. You better earn your scarves.
Matter of fact, we need an Earn Your Liberation scarf. We need an Earn Your Liberation scarf. Could you design one?
We need a whole bunch of merch. We need,
You're talking about report back. I'm not gonna report back. I'm gonna go live. I need to get on Black Power, man. I'm gonna go live in the streets with T.O. Hardiman. Y'all want to waste my time?
I can't wait for that. Make sure your notification and bells are on, so you don't miss that live update. Geechee, anything you want to? Yeah, go ahead.
And it's just people. I forgot, but I'm sorry. Go on.
No, we just as a think tank studying decolonial Marxism, Walter Rodney. So anybody want to tap in, you can tap in with us.
That's why I was just reading from that last night, literally, or early this morning, late last night, early this morning, specifically about his arrival in Tanzania, and all that was going on there. Fascinating. So yeah, definitely want to tune into that. The link to that is in the show description as well.
Did you pull up the Tanzanian studies, the silent class struggle? Because I've been a lot of like cross references I've been using, but I found that if you don't have it.
I honestly don't remember. And someone else just sent me, is that an article that someone else, I think someone just sent me an article about that I had read and actually talked about on here in terms of the socialism versus Kwanzaa argument I tried to make last year. But honestly, I don't remember. If I send it to me again, I don't remember. I often don't remember even what I've read. So
you said somebody's making an argument they don't like your socialism. I mean, versus Kwanzaa. What do you say?
Oh, a lot of I think there was some flaws in my delivery, and I think there was a lot of defensiveness around Kwanzaa and its positive value, and defense of it as. And really what I was simply just trying to say is that it's symbolic allusion to collectivism, to all of that, is not the same as actually organizing and creating a socialist economy. And that the condemnation of socialism as Eurocentric is continuing to inhibit, I think, our analyses and allowing for symbolism to redirect us yeah, so that was really it.
Would you say Kwanzaa has no geopolitical?
ZZ Line, just real quick, it's linked in the show description, Barter and Build, and thanks for the super chat. But definitely check the show description, everybody. We always keep it chock full with everything that you need to supplement what we do here. And Geechee's show is linked there as well. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
What would y'all say, and even the people in the chats, would you or y'all say that what's Kwanzaa's biggest problem? Would it be that they lack geopolitical awareness and or they don't factor in or even talk about imperialism? Like, what would
well, that's my my thing is that we need very clear, direct analysis of material conditions and problems, and that the vagueness of for all kinds of appropriations. So you have all varieties of people attaching themselves to Kwanzaa because it's very vague. It's not specific. So you have Black capitalists supporting it. You have radicals supporting it. Various nationalists supporting it because it doesn't have a program. It doesn't specify what it means to be collective.
It's a holiday.
To be cooperative.
It's a holiday. And let me tell y'all something. The Nguzu Saba is no different than the peace on earth and goodwill towards man rhetoric of Christmas. It's something people do around the time of the year, and then after it's done, and see you again next year. I mean, why are we acting like it's
there's a
difference more than that?
Well, because I do think there's a difference because people do. We even showed this year. I showed the Smithsonian did a version of it where it was using Obama as
exactly.
So again, my point is that just like with buying power is used to assess the potential for all formations of society to spend its money, but only when it comes to Black people does it get turned into some liberationist strategy. And that's what I'm saying about the difference between what you're saying. Yes, it's just a holiday, but most white folks aren't looking to Christmas for their revolution, but Black people are encouraged to look at Kwanzaa for theirs.
You know, hey, listen, Juneteenth, we barbecue on Juneteenth. And if you're too righteous for Christmas, if you're too conscious for Christmas, you got Kwanzaa. Let's stop playing
Christmas.
You know, leave it alone. You walk past the doghouse, leave it alone. Kwanzaa's just a holiday. I mean, well, let's stop.
And I have spoken, by the way. Sorry,
put out your tofu.
Yeah.
Look, put out your
Please
tofu
stop it with Manja going. Please stop.
What's wrong with Manja?
People have because again, just like as I read from the statement, the message to the Black movement from the Black Liberation Army, the Marxist analysis has to be made specific to the national condition of a particular people in a particular time. Mondragon is not something that can be replicated by Black people here. It has not satisfied the conditions of the people even there.
In Spain,
in Spain, that's what I'm saying. So it's not. So people keep pointing to these examples, like, and again, all because we want to, and I get it, avoid the hard work of earning our liberation, and that's we can't just create another business model shortcut. Thank you. Exactly. So that's again, thanks for another super chat, G, who running your YouTube page, nothing on home or playlist. So
hey, why you throw that up there?
Yeah,
I
just saw the super chat before I read it. I just saw the super chat. I'm honoring the super chat.
Is criticizing and critiquing me in the comments. Don't you throw that up on the
nobody's running the page. Nobody's running the page. And I actually not even active on the page right now. And I've been taking a break ever since my brother.
Let me hold my brother Geechee up. I hold my brothers up. You break pushing them down. I'm not gonna crab in the barrel, Geechee. Your YouTube page is fine.
Honestly,
you're doing okay. You're doing the best you can. Let me hold you up. Oh, okay. I'm gonna drop you then. Okay.
Yeah, drop me. I can hold myself up. No, but listen. So when Asafo was here, actually, that was one of the things Asafo was running, and it's still connected to his email. So I have to go through some process trying to recapture that or whatever. So I actually don't do much with the page at all, even the Geechee Motivating page. So yeah, I'm as much as I'm on social media, I don't really like social media, and I don't really know how to use half of the shit. So it's gonna be a while.
All right.
But if the brother trying to help out, then holla at me. Let's do it.
Yeah, I got it. Well, yeah. So if y'all gonna buy that, y'all got to buy my excuses for not going out with T.O. We all got. But man, I try to hold you up, and you're gonna diss me. I wouldn't throw your critiques up on.
Jared already put it out there, man. He already put it out there.
Dude was like, "Yo,
I saw the money.
Listen,
I saw the money, and I got blinded by the super chat.
That's actually how. That's how Biku got on the platform, because he put it up there. I was like, but we can deal with it. It's cool.
It's cool.
Listen, everybody, come back at 12 o'clock when Dr. Burrows joins me for a special edition of I Mix What I Like, as we look at Loudmouth, the documentary about the Loudmouth, produced by John Legend. I can't wait to have this discussion, and good Lord, have mercy.
Is Tamika Mallory in the documentary? She made a documentary?
I haven't seen her in it yet.
Y'all hear? Oh, let me
now go ahead.
Patrice Cullis. You talking about Patrice Cullis?
I don't want to.
Hey man, rest in peace to her nephew or uncle or nephew.
Yeah,
or
that's
whatever
what I was about to say.
Yeah, that shit was horrible.
Her cousin,
whatever. I will say, and I'm happy to be criticized for this. I will say that I'm not pleased that this is going to give another round of cover for her, and some of the bad analysis and rebranding of struggle that I think she represents. But at the same time, I don't at all feel good about this happening to him, and the way it went down. I did see the video. I put myself through the whole thing, and I wouldn't play it here. I wouldn't want to play it here, but that's just enough trauma for. But I don't know if you all want to say something about it. I don't mind taking a minute to do that. But it was.
I haven't. I just saw when Diallo shared it. I don't know much about it, but I'm just hoping. No, actually, I don't want to say that. But is it somebody that she is close kin to, or somebody she is?
I don't know.
Using the opportunity to kind of be back in the space.
I saw a video that showed the video of what happened a lot of what happened to him, and then in her Instagram post where she was just saying that he was a good person, he was a teacher, he didn't deserve this, and she had some about the continuing killing of Black people by the state. She has every right to do that. So even if it's not her intention, I just feel like the reverberating it's just, I think, going to reverberate politically against our collective interests. But again, it was. I mean, and to see him, he's clearly in a state of distress. He doesn't. The most threatening thing he did in terms of threatening other people was walking out into traffic. But even from the perspective of what we see released in the video, the police officer escalates, goes 0 to 100 very quickly, from, you know, take it easy, relax, just stay on the ground, take a seat, to I need, you know, a whole bunch of cops on top of the dude and them starting to tase him, and him saying, "Don't George Floyd me," and they did.
They sent hundreds and thousands of volts through his body. The guy, you can hear as he was engaging the taser, just literally electrocuted that man. You know,
and he's clearly in distress. Like where the video picks up, he's apparently abandoned his car and started running, claiming that people are trying to kill him or someone's trying to kill him. And the officer is seen calmly trying to tell him to calm down and stay seated and trying to find out what the situation is. He's, you know, like, he's seated, gets up. He's like, he could have been intoxicated, perhaps. That was part of the claim. I don't know. But the obvious thing is, why is it that we can't get, if he's out of the car, not driving a vehicle, if he's not armed and threatening people, if he's not violent, there have to be ways, if we're dealing with people who are considered human beings, to subdue them, especially when you have multiple people. That was the other thing. You're already on top of him with multiple. They don't tase him until he's already subdued.
Subdued, right.
It's not like he's attacking an officer and the officer tases him in some sort of self-defense or claim of self-defense. He's already under the custody or the body weight and the handling of several officers, one of which is black, apparent, by the way. And then the dude who tases him, you hear him and see him on the video saying to his fellow officers, "Look out, because I'm about to," like, in other words, they have so many body parts on him. The officer wanting to tase him has to tell his fellow officers to move so that he could get space on the brother's body to put him out. And then they go in and it's like 5 seconds, 20 seconds, 15, like he go, like to Diallo's point, it's multiple shocks to incapacitate him, as if, again, 3, 4, however many officers are there can't do it. He was not an enormously large man. He was not wildly aggressive. He did not have any weapons. It was not something that should have required all of that. And it could have obviously been dealt with in any number of other ways. And
here's the thing. That's one tragedy. But then the next tragedy is, we already know, we can predict all the how this whole thing is going to play out. I call it atrocity hopping. We already know the cast of characters that are going to come out and the statements that will be made. I mean, we could write this script because it's played out. Oh yeah, you know. But shout out to Al Sharpton, man. You know, he got off the swine and lost that weight, and y'all started mocking him. Y'all mocked him for being fat, and then y'all mocked him when he got skinny. Y'all just, that brother can't catch a break.
My bad. I did do a voiceover on him, so my bad. I'm sorry.
I really want you to do more of those. How can we need like a regular Earn Your Liberation voiceover segment. Like I think, and I want to be in more. You put me in one and I was on it. I want to do more. It was
you and
like
Diallo got to be in both of them.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
All right. I'll cook up some stuff, man.
I'll be in Los Angeles next month, man. So,
oh boy,
we know them brothers on the West Coast. They don't play with the police, though. They might have to do what they might have to be a repeat of '92, like the brother we had on a couple of weeks back. Riots work.
Oh boy, I vetted this one. Nobody's getting dissed in this. I like a playlist to piss my Southern Republican coworkers off. I'll look for it. Okay, good. There you go. Thank you for the super chat.
Redemption arc.
All right, fellas. Thanks again. Appreciate another good week of spending time with the real
the coach's top thought leader.
and you know, definitely people, please continue to support this show and the entire platform. Make sure you subscribe, make sure the bell is clicked, make sure you follow on us when you can. Make sure, you know, obviously you got something to say.
Put it in the comments.
And leave us your
message.
And we'll be back here next Friday with more Earn Your Liberation. Definitely check Brother Diallo, Barter and Build. The shows are linked in the description as well. And as Fred Hampton used to say, it's always important to remember to say peace as long as you're willing to fight for it. So peace, everybody. Catch you next time right here on Earn Your Liberation and BPM.
Peace.